Hi guys, hello everyone. Good afternoon to everyone who's present today for this live session with me again. I'm your host Sanjeet Bhatia. I have been away for a few days and I've gotten some texts from the students. And today I'm back with another live session on your legal affairs for CLAT and AILET. Right? I've told you that I'm a graduate from National Law University Bhopal myself, and I'll be taking ahead this session with you regarding some of the important legal affairs or important legal news that has been there in consideration by the courts all around the country. We'll be discussing some of the newses that can pop up in your CLAT exam very next year. All the people who are preparing for any other law entrances right now can also view these legal affairs as they are very important for you guys. Okay, so now firstly, before we start, the one thing that I always request you guys is to hit the like button, share, and subscribe so that it gives us constant motivation to make videos for you more and more interactive for you guys too. Right. So, first thing is like, share, and subscribe. Then you can also go on our Telegram channel and also subscribe us there and become a part of the family. And you can get all these updates for free. Right. And for you, the YouTube channel is also something which is a free affair, right? So you don't have to worry about any of these things. You don't have to pay anything for this. You can just go directly and subscribe to our channel on Telegram. Right now, coming to the next part, that is, if you are looking for some personalized counseling or you want some help on the face of it and you're not able to figure it out, you can definitely give us a call on 5 times 975 392. That is basically our number to contact me or any other law mentor. Also, if you are someone who's looking for any material, test series, or international education, also you can directly give us a call. Okay, so this is a number that you can see on your screen. Definitely do give us a call if you need any of the help. Right. So now, coming for the session today is the legal affairs. So what is the first legal affair for the day is that Twitter seems to have complied with the law, right? So there were some new IT rules that came up in 2021, and there was a case that was being filed on the social media website, that is Twitter. It is also a handle where all the politicians and like famous personalities have been very famous. As you know, there was a controversy where Mr. Donald Trump was also banned because of some controversies that he has put on the Twitter handle too, right? So the Twitter has been a very important platform during our COVID times also, and there were some controversies that were coming due to the new IT rules that have came up in 2021. So now what happened is that 2 days back, the central government informed the Delhi High Court that the Twitter has appointed permanent officers as it was required under the new IT rules and intermediary guidelines and digital media ethics code. Now, the name of the case was Amit Acharya versus the Union of India and others. Right. So you can see that they have gone through the guidelines and they have given a permanent officer to in India also. That was a requirement that was mentioned under the information technology rules of 2021, and you can see that intermediary guidelines and digital media ethics code is the full name of that act. Now Twitter also informed the Delhi High Court that they have complied in their previous order. Permanent officers have been appointed for the positions of chief compliance officer and grievance officer and nodal contract person. So these were the three posts that they have to provide to someone in India, and they were able to do that. They have appointed the three posts, that is chief compliance officer, that is the CCO, and the grievance officer, which is going to take care of any grievances that comes against in India. So he's going to be taking care of that. And there is one more, a nodal contact person, which is also been appointed by Twitter Inc. in India itself to go up according to the rules that are mentioned under the IT rules of 2021. So I hope that is definitely clear to all of you that what has Twitter done so far. As I've told you in the previous sessions also, that what has been happening in these cases, as I keep on discussing these cases on a regular basis, and I want to give you updates on the same. So that is really important that you are updated regarding the new progress that has happened in the case, that is regarding the permission that is given to the Twitter handle now in India to work, and they have appointed the three officers that were also required, and they have complied by the IT rules. Very clear. There's no confusion in this news. This is a or 2 point, and it is also an update for your previous news where your social media websites were getting banned because there was a chance of them getting banned because of these new IT rules that have come up. And you all know the controversy with WhatsApp. That was the original originator of the message, right? So they were looking for the term called originator of the message, that where did it originate from, and they wanted to prosecute a person who has originated the message since the beginning, like who was the one who typed that message altogether, right? So that is something that you have to remember, that these are the kind of things that were included in the new IT rules. Now Twitter has complied by the rules regarding appointment of chief compliance officer and grievance officer and nodal contact person also. So that is something that you have to remember. Coming to the next news, that Supreme Court orders that no criminal case against MP and MLAs can be withdrawn without sanction of the concerned High Court. As you all know that there have been cases where the MPs and MLAs have been into the criminal litigation, or they had criminal cases against them. So definitely that is something that you have to remember, that there was a lot of controversies that were going on, certain criminal instances that these MPs and MLAs have been a part of. So definitely the Supreme Court has taken a stand on it and said that no criminal cases against MP and MLAs can be withdrawn without the sanctions of the concerned High Court, that the concerned High Court will be a part of it. So definitely that is something that has to be taken into consideration. Now the Supreme Court on Tuesday has ordered that the criminal cases of the MPs and MLAs cannot be withdrawn without prior sanction. And also there was a three-judge bench, that is the Chief Justice of India, that is Mr. Justice N.V. Ramanna and Justice Surya Kanta and Justice Vineet Saran, have accepted the suggestion made by the amicus curiae, that is Vijay Hansaria, in this regard, right? So there was a person named Vijay Hansaria who has been the amicus curiae in the case itself. Now you have to understand that an amicus curiae is a person who is not a party to a case, but who assists the courts in offering information, right? Basically, that is the whole thing, right? Either he's giving an information or providing his expertise or insight that is bearing to the issues in the case, right? So simple, he's not a person who's filing a case, but it is a person who is helping the court, right? So that is something, that is the meaning of amicus curiae. So you can definitely remember it, as it can be asked to you inside your CLAT or any other law entrance exam too. Okay, so coming to the next case for the day, I hope everybody is clear with this case. Coming to the next case is that the Transgender Act permits self-perceived gender identity, safeguards against discrimination, and also the central government has defended the act before the Karnataka High Court also. Right now, the court was hearing a plea that was challenging the constitutional validity of the Transgender Persons Protection of Right Act of 2019 and the rules that are related to the same. Now, coming to the part is that the transgender person, what the court said, under the 2019 Act protects the rights of the transgender person by giving them the right to self-perceived identity, that whatever they have perceived themselves, that is their identity, and safeguards them against any discrimination. As you know that in our country, transgenders, and earlier before that also LGBTQA plus, all these categories that were there, were facing a lot of injustice because of their sexual preferences or their way that they carry themselves or anything of that sort was happening on a regular basis in our country. Now, there are a lot of stands that the court has taken during the course of time. The court also said here that the transgender persons can protect their own rights, right, by giving them the right to self-perceived identity and safeguard them against any of these discriminations that happens. Now, the union government said the same thing. They were quoting the same thing and told the Karnataka High Court on the same, and they were defending the law of the Transgender Person Protection of Rights Act of 2019, as these were a very, very important acts that had to come up in our society for the protection of one era of the society, which is very, very important because they were marginalized at a point of time and there were no rights and protections that were provided to transgender people, even though it is something which is very, very natural to exist in a country. but I don't know why it was not happening so soon, because since the beginning of humanity we have seen these things. And if you go to any of the developed nations, so they are not in the same state of affairs as they are in India. So definitely you have to remember that these protection rights are going to help them on a very very like a materialistic basis, and they're going to give them the enough amount of opportunities that are required them as a normal human being. And as they are not being considered before this, now they will be given as something, because they are a part of the society and they are someone who's considered absolutely fine, and they should be given all the rights as required and under her human dignity also. So that you can see here that is being given by the union government, as they have defended the law in front of the Karnataka High Court. Coming to the next part is that the law must not compel individuals in marriage to suffer by denying a divorce, right? So that is something that you have to remember, that the law should not compel individuals in marriage to suffer by denying divorces. And also the Kerala High Court calls for an overhaul of divorce laws, right? So these divorce laws has been very very tricky for people who are in these marriages. And also the law should not compel an individual to be in marriage and but just to be there because they are not being given divorce, right? So the court said that the divorce law should evolve in tune with the changing times, and the state interference in the matters of personal life should be minimal, and individual autonomy should be recognized. So that is something that is said by the court, and which is a very very important, because as it is the motive of the law to change with the evolving society also. So they should take care of all these things, and they should evolve in the tune with changing times, and the state interference in the matter of personal life should be minimal, right? They shouldn't be involved in any of the things that are related to someone's personal life, and the individual autonomy should be recognized in these cases, right? The Kerala High Court also called for the revamp of these divorce laws that are already existing in the country, and stating that the law should not compel a spouse to suffer in marriage by denying divorce, right? As you know that there are a lot of conditions where the people cannot just survive with each other, right? It is unbearable for them to just take each other into consideration and stay together. So this is basically, if you are staying in such kind of a toxic environment or a relationship, that is definitely taking away your rights also, and also they are making you suffer by staying in that marriage and denying you a divorce. So definitely the Kerala High Court has said that revamping of such divorce laws are very very important, and they shouldn't compel or force a spouse to suffer in a marriage by denying them divorce. So that is a straightforward news that is coming up from the Kerala High Court, and this can be something that you can also take in consideration, and this is just for your learning also, to understand what kind of decisions are coming up. Okay, coming to the next case for the day, that is, though marital rape cannot be penalized, it is a valid ground to claim divorce, right? So that is what is being said by the Kerala High Court, that the marital rape cannot be penalized. As you know that there is no law regarding marital rape in India. So even if you try to find one in the IPC or anywhere else, you'll find a normal definition of rape that is defined under the Indian Penal Code, but you will not find any definition that comes under for the marital rape. And it has been a very very big issue in our country regarding the marital rape structure, and because there are no laws on it. But definitely Kerala High Court has decided that it is a valid ground to claim divorce, right? The court held that the modern social jurisprudence, right, that this is what they are quoting, right? Spouse in the marriage are treated equally, and husband cannot claim supremacy over wife on her body or individual status. That is definitely that has to be taken care of, that the husband is not owner or any, like there's no supremacy that he can claim, and definitely that they both men and women play an equal role in a marriage, and it cannot be just one side who's going above the other and supernaturate their decisions or their lifestyle. So definitely they had to be treated equally in a marriage, and the husband cannot claim such supremacy over the wife or her body or individual status, whatever it may be. Now, in a judgment which the court has significant impact on divorce cases, the Kerala High Court has ruled that marital rape cannot be can be a good ground for claiming divorce, right? As there is no law for punishing the person who's been involving into this, but a person who wants to get out of a situation of that sort definitely divorce, and it is a valid ground for claiming the divorce, right? So you have to understand that such things also impact the society in the future, because if someone is such into an uncomfortable state of affairs with their own spouse, then definitely it should be a valid ground for giving them divorce and revealing them, like relieving them of all the toxicity they are going through in such a relationship also, right? So because there is no penal statute for it, so that is something that you have to understand. If there is no penal statute for it, they cannot be punished for such acts, but definitely a woman should have an exit plan out of it, right? So this is the exit plan that has been given by the court, that it is a valid ground to claim divorce, and the women can claim divorce in such a case. Okay, coming to the next part, that the Himachal Pradesh High Court has taken something new into consideration for the grounds for bail. Right now, the court has said that there is a tendency in the society to not recognize the mental illness, right? That is something that the court has observed. Now, there was an accused who was present in front of the court, and there was a prayer that was given to the court regarding the bail that he needed from the side of the court, and that was written in his prayer also. Now, what happened is that this person was going through some mental health issues also, and but the court said that in the society there is a tendency that the society does not consider these mental health issues as illness, right? So you'll be considered as a mad or a lunatic, but you'll not, if you are going through a bad mental state, or mental state of affairs are not up to the mark, right? So the society will not like consider it as an illness, right? As you have any bodily effects, then you are being considered as a person who's going through any illness. But if you are not mentally stable, or you have mental issues or mental health issues, then definitely it is not considered as an illness, right? Because there's a medicine for a headache, but there's no medicine for a mental health issue, right? Because it takes time to get and rejuvenate the same thing and get the person on track again. Now, but it can be like a ground for giving bail to these people who are going through mental illness. So now the Himachal Pradesh High Court has given an accused a ground like a bail on the ground of mental illness, and also said that there is a tendency amongst people and the society to not treat mental issues as illness, and to ignore it or opt for religious remedies. As you all know that there has been a lot of people who will opt for a religious remedy over all these things, which is not at all recommended by the doctors. Or like if you go for a psychologist or anything of that sort, they will not recommend a religious remedy for it, right? There is a proper structure that has to be followed in such cases. So definitely the Himachal Pradesh High Court has taken into consideration this mental illness that to be considered as a mental health issue also, and this illness will lead to a divorce, to a bail under the court, and the proceedings will go on the same. Now, that you have to consider it as mental health has gained a lot of momentum during your COVID-19 period also, because people stayed alone and they realized that when they are staying with just themselves, what all can happen to their mental health during that point of time. So that is something which is really, really important to understand this, and take a notice of it. And if you are suffering from anything which is a mental health issue, you should definitely go for help and unsolve yourself regarding the same, right? So definitely it is one of the grounds that is also been taken by the Himachal Pradesh High Court for granting of bail. Now, coming to the last and the most important part is that you have to read all these cases thoroughly, because they can come for your comprehension based passages, and they play a very, very vital role, because your information over these cases play a very important role for your CLAT examination, because you need to understand the interpretation of all these legal nuances, because they might come up in your paper exactly like this, and they might give you a factual scenario on the same. So do remember that these Newses are very, very important for you guys to keep on reading, and reading such kinds of content also gives you a lot of perspective about what happens once you get inside the law school also, and it will be helpful once you are there too, right? So reading legal affairs is very, very important for any aspirant who's going for CLAT, AILET, MHCT, SLAT, or any other law entrances. Can be BHU law, PU law, or anything of that sort. All of these legal affairs will be really, really helpful. And if you plan to go to the places where you are planning to get into an interview with these kinds of places, then definitely these GK affairs can be something really, really important for all of you, right? So that's my time with all of you. Do take care of yourself, wear your mask, use your hand sanitizers, and definitely maintain social distancing. And if you are someone who's above 18, do get yourself vaccinated. And if you are not above 18, please tell people to get vaccinated, and definitely inculcate that inside the people who are not aware about it, right? So that's a good decision you can take as an educated personality if you are there in the society, that if you are educated about the vaccinations and the benefit for it, you should definitely go ahead and tell this to a lot of people, and just tell them to go and get vaccinated. That will be something that can be done on your part, right? So stay safe, stay healthy, keep smiling, keep preparing, and see you again in another live session very, very soon with another interesting topic that we will discuss on the coming Friday. So definitely be a part of that live session too. And I will see you again. All thanks for joining. Take care. Bye-bye. Good afternoon, good evening, and take care of yourself whenever and wherever you are watching this video. Bye-bye.